So the do now says which value of x satisfies the equation 7 over 3 parentheses x plus 9 over 28 close the parentheses equals 20. All this is saying is solve the equation, and this actually is a question on the Algebra 1 region. So it was pulled from an Algebra 1 regions question. And so we know we're going to distribute. So we're going to do 7 over 3 times x, which will give us 7 over 3x. And we also have to do 7 over 3 times 9 over 28. When reduced to simplest form, should give us 3 over 4 equals 20. And then this is just a two-step equation with fractions. So we know we're going to draw our line. We're going to do the opposite of plus 3 over 4. So we're going to minus 3 over 4. If you want to change that to a decimal, we know it's 0.75. So minus 3 over 4. We'll get 19 and 1/4, or 19.25. Bring down your 7 over 3x equals, bring down your 19 and 1/4, or 19.25. Now 7 over 3, if you divide, try to change it to a decimal, it will give you a repeating decimal. So I would leave it in fraction form. And we're going to divide both sides by 7 over 3. And so we'll get x equals 8.25, or I don't know what the yellow calculators say, it might say 8 and 1/4. We know those are equivalent. So choice 1 would be your answer, 8.25. Our learning target is we're going to solve multi-step equations with variables on the both sides, very similar to yesterday, just some more practice today. So we know our first step is to circle the variables. We're going to ask which is smaller or less than, and we're going to do the opposite. So I'm going to draw my line. Now, this equation is what kind of tripped some of us up yesterday because it looks a little bit different. I'm going to circle the plus 6x, just like if we were combining like terms. Circle the sign in front and the plus 8x. Now I'm comparing positive 6x and positive 8x. Positive 6x is smaller, so I'm going to do the opposite. Minus 6x and minus 6x. This side gives us 0, it eliminates. So I'm going to write 15. We can write plus 0 or just 0 equals 45. 8x minus 6x gives us positive 2x. Next thing is we're going to solve for the variable. Now notice I'm not switching the sides. I'm going to write 15 equals 45 plus 2x. The equation looks a little bit different. It's backwards and the 45 and the plus 2x are switched. We want to get this by itself, which means we have to get rid of that positive 45, which the opposite is minus 45. So 15 minus 45 will give us negative 30. This cancels, and then we're left with our 2x. Our last step, we're going to divide by 2 and by 2. So we're going to say x equals negative 15. For some reason, I don't trust myself. 15 minus 45, yep, negative 30. And then our last step, like we did here, is we want to write our answer as x equals, right? I was telling someone yesterday that the Regents is very particular in what they take off points. So if you don't write this, you're losing 1 point on a 3-point question or a 4-point question. That's silly because you did all of this work above it to not get the full credit. All right, so question number 1, first thing I'm going to do, draw my line, circle my x's. 6x 8x. I'm asking myself which is smaller. We did a very similar one last problem. We know 6x is smaller. Now it's positive. It's positive because there's no negative sign. So the opposite would be minus 6x and minus 6x. This side gives us 0. If you don't want it, just make sure you're writing plus 3 so you know it's positive 3. Equals, and I know it's positive 3 because that sign is right there. 8x minus 6x gives us 2x. Bring down my minus, bring down my 21. I'm going to rewrite it as 3 equals 2x minus 21. Again, a flipped or backwards equation. We want to get the variable by itself, which means we want to get rid of or eliminate the negative 21. We want to get it to the other side of the equal sign, which means we need to do the opposite. So plus 21 and plus 21. This side gives us 0. This side gives us 24. So we can write this two ways. We can write it 24 equals 2x, or we can write it 2x equals 24. Because there's an equal sign, it doesn't matter. It would matter if there was that inequality sign. We wouldn't be able to change them. So either way we do it, we're going to divide by 2. And we're going to get x equals 12. All right, our next one, we have some positives and negatives to make things a little bit harder. First thing I'm going to do is draw my line. And I'm going to circle my x's. So negative 19x and negative 24x. Now, if we have a number line and 0 is over here, this would be negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. Eventually, we would get to negative 19 here and negative 24 here. Remember, the further away from 0, when we're talking negatives, the smaller the number is. So from 0 to 19 and from 0 to 24. So this negative 24 is actually the smaller number. So the opposite would be to add 24x to both sides. Negative 19 plus 24x, I'm not using a calculator, so I'm going to believe it's 5x, plus 32 equals, these cancel, 0. Now again, remember, this is a minus 3. So if you don't want to put that 0 there, that's okay, but make sure you bring down your minus so you know it's negative 3. I like to write it as 0, because now I know 0 minus 3 is negative 3. Two-step equation looks normal, not backwards. So minus 32 and minus 32. This side gives us 0. Negative 3 minus 32 will give us negative 35. So we say 5x equals negative 35. We're going to divide both sides by 5. And x is going to equal negative 7. Ooh, this one's interesting. Lines down my middle. Now, this time we have like terms on the left side and terms on opposite sides. So the first thing we're going to do here is the 4x and the 2x are on the same side of the equal sign. If they're on the same side, we're going to combine them like normal. We're not going to do the opposite. Combine like normal. So 4x plus 2x would give us 6x plus 4 equals 5x minus 5. Now that we combine them, we're going to circle our x's, 6x and 5x, and we're going to follow which one is smaller 5x is smaller. What's the opposite of positive 5x? Well, that's minus 5x on both sides. So we get 1x plus 4 is 0 minus 5. Or you want to save yourself that 0, but know that it's negative 5. So I'm going to rewrite it just to be a little bit neater. 1x plus 4 equals negative 5. And the opposite of that plus 4 is minus 4. This side gives me 0. That's why we do it. We want to get it to the other side. And negative 5 minus 4 will give us negative 9. So 1x, or x, equals negative 9. If I was there, I would ask, do we need to divide by 1? And y'all would tell me no, because we're just going to get the same answer. So x equals negative 9. Again, if they're on the same side, we add them, we combine like normal. If they're on different sides, we do the opposite so that we can get them to the other side. All right, this one's easy. Try it on your own. I'm going to circle my x's. My opposite of 7x is smaller, so minus 7x and minus 7x. This side gives me 0. Again, I'm going to bring down my negative 4 equals 4x minus 9. Now I want the 4x by itself, so I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to add 9 to both sides. I'm going to get positive 5 equals 4x. And we know we're going to divide by 4 on both sides. And so x is going to be a decimal. That's okay. Should be 1.25. All right, next one, try on your own. The only thing different there is we have maybe, ooh, this one's interesting. My hints before you try it on your own is x and minus 7x. All right, we know that there's an invisible 1 in front of that x. Now, 1x and negative 7x. Remember, negative numbers are smaller than positive. That's the number sign, not the hashtag sign. Are smaller than positive numbers. So my negative 7x is smaller, and the opposite would be to add 7x to both sides. So 1x plus 7x gives me 8x, plus 14.8 equals 102, and these cancel. They give us 0. Two-step equation, so minus 14.8 and minus 14.8. This side gives us 0. And now 102 minus 14.8 gives us 87.2. Notice how I'm showing all of my steps. 8x equals 87.2. Divide by 8, divide by 8. And we'll get x equals a decimal, a terminating decimal, 10.9. All right, and then a last one, practice. This is kind of a little bit of a challenge because we have like terms on both sides, and then we have like terms on opposite sides. So remember, if they're on the same side, we're going to combine like normal. So on the left side, this is my left side, and this is my right side. First, I'm going to look at the left side. What matches on the left side? Should be positive 4 minus 6. We combine like normal. 4 minus 6. They're on the same side. That gives us negative 2. So we're going to do 3x minus 2 equals. Now on the right side, what matches? And I'm actually going to change the color here. On the right side, we know our 3x matches with our minus 1x. So 3x minus 1x will give us 2x plus 2. If they're on the same side, we combine like normal. It's only when we're trying to get them to the other side of that equal sign, of this line here. When I'm trying to move something this way or something this way, that's when I do the opposite because I want to cancel it out and get it to 0. So now I'm going to circle my x's, 3x and 2x. 2x is smaller. I want to move the 2x this way. In order to get it past my line, I need to do the opposite. So minus 2x and minus 2x. We're left with 1x minus 2 equals, these cancel, that's why we do it. And then it's a positive 2. So 1x minus 2 equals 2. We know we're going to add 2 and add 2. Again, I'm trying to get this 2 to this side. If I have to cross over the line, I'm doing the opposite. So this gives us 0, and this gives us 4. So 1x is going to equal 4, which we know means x equals 4.